This is Mr. J, and I am using code.org to show you lesson 17, levels 1 through 6. I'm going to get started. So, lesson 17 is CSS classes. You're going to be actually using, writing some code in the HTML, and then also a rule set in the CSS, which will allow you to do this. So what we recognize on this website, the sample website, is that each section here, the Martin Luther King I Have a Dream speech we notice is in like a blue, I think it's cadet blue, and then, but the picture is about the same size as the JFK picture, but the JFK picture has a orange border and orange, the heading is orange. The smaller attribution next to the picture is smaller, and it's also orange. And then the actual quote is orange. And then down here we have the Lincoln stuff, which is in a purple. And so what we've learned so far is that if we use an image tag, any rule set that we use for the image tag or image selector will affect all of the images the same. And in this website, we can see that all the images are being seem to have a different rule set, and that can't be done if you just use an image tag. So we're going to use classes, and classes allows us to have separate sections of our page basically it allows us to have different rules applied to different sections of our page so that we have more control over what everything looks like, and we don't have to have everything the exact same color, the exact same size, the exact same font. So classes allows us to do that. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and look at, we're going to move on from this and go into level 2. And I'm going to follow these rules here, and you can follow along and complete the level as well, and you'll learn how to use the classes. Now first, before we get into this, I'm going to show you what we need to write for the classes. So I have this PDF here, and first we need to mark the elements in HTML that will be in that class. So in our HTML, so we have HTML here. I don't want to create a copy. I'm not actually trying to do that. And so we have to notice where exactly we are putting our class that we're going to create. So basically, this is the format of a class, the syntax. We have class equals, and then we have our quotes, and inside the quotes we have whatever name we choose to name the class. In this case, for this example, it's fancy. So the class name is fancy, and it's going to affect the paragraph good day. Okay, if we look at the code here, we have another beginning tag, and this one does not have the class inside the tag here, so it shouldn't be affected by the class. And then if we go back to the rules, the CSS file, and we go into the CSS rule set, we have .fancy. Now this is important. The syntax for a CSS rule set is you need to have the dot and then the class name. So it's .fancy. If you don't put the dot, then the computer doesn't know that it's a class selector. So once we have .fancy in the CSS and we have fancy in the HTML, then you will see whatever it is that you put in the CSS will take place in the actual website. So in this case, the rule set was a different font and a different color. Okay, so we need to make sure that we put in between whatever tag that you want to be affected by the class, you must put a space and then class equals, name the class, and then you have your greater than symbol to end the opening tag. Okay, so that's what we're going to be using. This is the syntax I've attached this into the announcement on Friday, January 7th. And so you can take a look at this if you need to get the syntax. And right now I'm going to start on level 2. Lesson 17, CSS classes, level 2. Okay, so we always start with looking at the directions up here, and then we know what we're doing down in the workspace. So, using classes. This waterfall page uses classes to make the images at the top of the page a different style from the images in the main part of the page. Okay, so what that means is these 4 pictures on the top are going to have a different style than these 4 larger pictures that you can scroll through in the main section. Okay, and we'll see what happens when we change our classes in our CSS. So, in order to show this, we're going to find the CSS rule set in the style.css file that makes the images at the top smaller than the ones on the main part of the page. And then we're going to add a new rule to one of the classes and check to see that it only affects the images in that class. Okay, so find the CSS rule set and then change one of the rule sets to see how you can only change a set group of images versus all of the images. All right, so I'm going to close this so I have more space. And as I look through my HTML, I see that I have my link that links to the style sheet. That's good. We always want to check that. And then within the body, I've got my H1 tag. Nothing's added to it. Then I have my first image. And in that image tag, I have class equals top im. Okay, there's my class. Wherever this shows up, whatever tag has this top class equals top image in it, then it's going to have the same effect it will get the same effect applied to it. Okay, so if I notice as I'm looking through this, I have another image here, and it also has the class equals top image, and then the next image has class equals top image, and it goes like that there. Now if I go down here, this has these images down here, if I use my inspector tool, this image here, the code is right. Whoa, I just lost it. Let's see. Okay. This code here has a different image class, different class. Class equals main image. So instead of top image, it's main image. So that separation is going to cause our images on the top to be different than our images in the main part of the web page. Okay? So if we want different borders, we want different shapes, we want different sizes, we can use a class to do that. So now what I'm going to do is go to my style CSS, and I can see that I have my top image. Notice that there's a dot in front of it. You have to have that. That signifies that it's a class, and then it can find the top image class. Okay, so what I want to do is add a border to these pictures up here so that they appear different than the ones down here. So my top image, I know that are these 4 photos, and so I'm just going to come down here at the bottom, and I'm going to put in border style. Border style. If I click on that, it gives me that, and I'm going to say, let's go with a double. Need my terminator or semicolon, and then I want a color, so border color. There we go, border color. Okay, and I'm gonna I want to do a color that really shows up. Let's go orange. Complementary color to, let's go dark orange. Border style, border color. Okay, so that should work. Refresh. Okay, and so I added those rule sets in, border style, border color, and then when you look over here on my website, you can see, I need to turn the inspector off here. It's kind of bugging me. Okay, you can see that if I'm zooming in here, we have a double border around all of these pictures, but notice that this picture does not get those effects applied to it. Okay, and so if I wanted those to also have a border, then I would have to create a new, add this to the rule set here for the main image. Okay, and then maybe I would change to, instead of double, I can just say solid. oops. And then here, we'll say just orange. Maybe we'll do yellow here. Okay. Let's go maybe dark yellow. We won't worry about that. Okay. And so now I can see that these pictures in the main area are all have a border that is yellow, and then the pictures in the top images have an orange double border. And I did that using a class. So I'm not using the image tag to format my pictures. I'm using the class tag, which now allows me to do each picture differently if I wanted, or a group of pictures. Whatever has the class tag top image will be affected by this rule set, and whatever has the class tag dot main image will have this rule set applied to it. So that is what a class is. So I'm gonna go ahead and click finish, and then I will start level 3 and 4 in a separate video. Actually, I'll do each level in a separate video. So this, you should have level lesson 17, level 2 finished. So click finish, and it'll take you to the next level.